Good afternoon. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. It's 2 days before Christmas. I guess you could call it Christmas Eve, and I've heard somebody refer to that the other day. I'm going to be taking next week off, or this coming week. I'm going to be pretty much off all week until the new year, using up some of my vacation and just taking care of some of the projects. Grace is off work that week as well, and so we're going to get some things done at home. I hope that you'll take time to watch our virtual Christmas Eve service, since we're not able to have our own service here on Christmas Eve, since we're sort of temporarily shut down. We do have the 22-minute virtual Christmas Eve. I believe it's arriving in your email today, and I hope that you'll take time to watch it. It's fun. It's powerful. Because it comes from several different cultures, not only First Baptist, Second Baptist, and Belmont Baptist, but also the Sudanese church, the Karen church, and I hope that you'll take time to watch it. There's no immediate action or plan to restart our regular worship services yet. We're kind of taking it week to week. We want to get through some of this, the restrictions and the pandemic and everything else before we restart our worship service. So I hope that you'll take advantage of some of these opportunities as we send them out to you. I know it's not near as exciting watching them on video, but I hope that you'll still do that and allow those experiences to be real worship for you. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. Those are the words of the prophet Isaiah 700 years before Jesus was born in Bethlehem. I wonder if he could have anticipated what the world was going to be like 700 years down the road when this was to take place. I wonder if God gave him that insight, that the Roman Empire at that time, at the time that Jesus was born, would have such a tight grip on the world, and that the Roman Empire would be so expansive that there were virtually no borders. At the time that Jesus was born, you could travel from one place to another without having to pass through any kind of customs or any kind of a road check or anything else as you traveled from place to place. And so Mary and Joseph traveled from Nazareth down to Bethlehem. It's probably close to a 3-day walk on foot. And so it's quite a distance. Mary and her condition and making that travel down the road. It got me thinking a little bit. I don't want to get completely into the narrative story, because you know the story of Jesus' birth so well, and I hope that you'll take time to read it with your family. But it makes me think of my own history, that Christmas has always been a time of travel. Ever since we had children, ever since I was in seminary, and we would travel from Kansas City up to Minot. And then when my first ministry, where we would travel from Lisbon, North Dakota, up to Minot, North Dakota, a 250-mile drive. One year we got stranded in a blizzard halfway between those two cities, and in a little town called Carrington, North Dakota. And we ended up in a motel that was brand new motel, hadn't even been opened yet, but the owners opened it because of the vast number of travelers who had been stranded in their community. And how we spent, Grace and little baby Tori spent the night in a mop closet on a cot in that motel. The place was completely full. My older daughter Katie and I, we spent the night watching Three Stooges movies in the lobby. That was a long time ago, many years ago. I also remember other times that we driving through the night with our kids. Our kids snuggled under a quilt in the back because it was 20 below zero outside. I remember traveling from Bismarck to Tennessee on one Christmas Eve, and our van broke down in Nashville, and we spent the Christmas Eve, our alternator went out, and we couldn't get apart till the next day. We spent Christmas Eve in a motel room, and we had Christmas dinner at a Waffle House. So we've had a lot of experiences over the years. So traveling on Christmas Eve has always been part of my tradition, my understanding. This year, however, it's different. Grace and I discovered a couple of years ago that we were no longer going to drive through the night, that we were always going to do the trips in 2 days rather than driving through the night. this year we're not going anywhere. We're staying at home. Our plans had been to go to Minot this year and see my mom, spend time with my mother, and that didn't work out because of this pandemic. And so we're staying home and we're doing our own thing. We're being at home. It's quietness of our own house, nobody else around. And this is going to be a very strange Christmas for us. But you know what? That's kind of what Christmas is. Christmas was a strange time. And in this pandemic, I think we need to be content. As the Apostle Paul talks about being content in all things. I hope that we're content this year, that we're not frazzled or upset by the change of plans, the change of circumstances, but that we can simply be content that the celebration of Christmas is about Jesus, and that we can reflect upon his birth and reflect upon his life and reflect upon the incarnation of the Son of God who came into the world, that we can have life. May God bless you on this Christmas. I hope that you have a wonderful time with your family. God bless. Amen.